All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give an update. Day 9 and day 10, I finally had some sediment in my urine. It started to be cloudy. I saw more, just of the acid coming out, and I always thought all my life that having clear urine was good and all of that, but it's not. Our kidneys are supposed to be filtering, and we're supposed to have some white sediment in there, and you can actually use a jar, and then you can set the urine aside, and over time, like, you can just have it there for a while. You can go back the next day and look, and you can actually see the sediment more because it goes to the bottom of the jar that you're using, and it helps you to gauge kind of where you're at and how your body is functioning. And when you're using herbs like Dr. Morse's herbs, it helps you to also know what you're doing there. Now, he does have a 14-week protocol and different things, and he does customize the protocols for people. I didn't have the money at the time, so I am using herbs that are like Dr. Morse's that my friend put together, and I'm so grateful for them. And I would recommend anyone who can use Dr. Morse's herbs with the fruit detox to do so, because we need that extra support. And for myself, having thyroid issues and just pituitary, my transverse colon, there's just so many areas of my body that are in need of just tender love and care. Not to say that there's not other ways to go about this, but this seems to be one of the best ways that I have found, and I love listening to testimonials. I will leave links as much as possible to videos that I find helpful in the description box of my video, so you can go back. So this one, I'll leave some on kidney filtration, and then some more testimonials. And then the next thing that I'm going to go into, day 9 and 10, I've had some emotional detoxing that stirred up. Part of it is because of, our cells have memory, and so I'm really like digging deep and regenerating. My body is regenerating all the cells itself, and I am doing everything I can to give my body the rest and the nutrition that it needs. And fruit is the easiest to digest, and it's a high energy food because of that, and so that is what I'm doing. But the other part of it is September, and all of my offspring but one are in school, actually 2. My eldest just graduated, and then my youngest is 3, so he's not in school. And it's really difficult because when I had them in my arms, I was coaching soccer. I was very much involved. I actually ended up homeschooling when everything went on with Child Predator Services. And for anyone, I don't want to have to keep people and repeat the story if people have heard it before, but I do have my story on my channel about what has happened. But I will briefly just talk about how when we went to Mexico because of the corruption here, it was a really difficult. And when we were on survival mode there, trying to make it, we were basically by ourselves and living off of tacos. Interesting. Yeah, we were living off of tacos. We loved tacos, and things were rough. We weren't really focusing on education at the time, so like when we came back, we weren't gone very long. My hopes were to get through the pregnancy and then to carry on with life and to work on my health, because my adrenals and kidneys were really down. I didn't understand what was going on. I did know that just because of the chronic stress, the stress that these for-profit corporations put on families is extreme, and then how they use families against one another. And so anyways, I've heard things from others like, oh, your offspring were behind in school, like you basically aren't a good mom and you weren't doing a good job and all that. And the truth is that we were trying to survive, feeling like kind of a refugee trying to escape a war. And this is not being dramatic. It's not being a conspiracy theory or anything. The people are coming out and starting to talk about this, and the impact that this has on families, the trauma that it inflicts and causes is enormous. I can't even put to words what it does to parents, to grandparents, to the offspring, to everyone involved. And it is a conquering and dividing system, unfortunately. And so that stress was difficult, and just staying on point. It's right now is a time where I'm just kind of revisiting, my body is revisiting some of those emotions, because my 5-year-old just started school, and that's hard. It's hard not being the one taking, well, I would be doing homeschooling, but in the past, I took all of my offspring to school, got them ready, always got all the material. Excuse me one second. Anyway, sorry about that. Someone's driving on the beach, but I always got all the supplies, got them signed up for sports, did all of that. And now to be someone who can't even have unsupervised visits, can't take my offspring to the beach with me, I can't even put into words what it feels like to be there. I was one of those kind of try to do as best I can, mom, go back to school, get my master's in counseling, went into the parades for our wedding, got the whole community involved. Definitely not a perfect mom in any way, but really tried. And the system is interesting, the so-called justice system. I had only parking tickets before, and now I have a parental interference so-called charge that they have put on me for trying to protect my offspring from the system. When your babies tell you one of their biggest fears is to be taken from you, and then you get that second knock from the child predator services, and they come and they say they're going to do everything all over again after they ripped you through the mud and basically left you to pick up the pieces of your life. They had no right to come in to begin with, but they presented as though they did, and you're just ignorant to what's going on. Well, that was me. And the second time around, I didn't want to go through it again, and I had every right to try to protect my offspring. And we just live in a world right now where things are flipped upside down, and we need to wake up to it. So I am in this fruit detox experiencing some emotions, and there's anger there, there's frustration, there's sadness, there's despair. All of these things are rising up inside of me. Not only that, but really wanting things to be so different. I am done with the whole matrix. I am done with the Groundhog's Day. I am in control of my life. I am the one who has the power within. I do believe that there are certain things that are outside of our control, and I'm working on trust and patience in those areas, and when the time comes for me to know more and more, I am wanting to be open to that coming to me. Of course, I want all of it now, and I want all the answers, and I want to be able to fix things, and I want to heal, and I want to help others. But here I am on day 10 of my fruit fast, and all I can do is try to take care of myself and heal myself. And so I'm sitting on this beach, and I am going to be purging whatever needs to come out when it comes out, because when we hold it in, it's not good. We need to release, we need to accept, and I'm working on accepting where I am, knowing that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and not giving in to the low vibrational emotions. When other people are eating around me, I am giving myself space, because it's very difficult during times to not give in and to just say, it doesn't matter, I can't do this, why am I doing it? So I've been looking in my eyes a lot. When I went to that women's sacred retreat, that was something that was big, was looking in my eyes and loving myself and seeing who I am as this infinite soul. We are so much more than we've been led to believe. And so I've been looking in my eyes, not only to love myself and to see what I'm doing, but also the iridology. And I don't know if you can see like my eyes in here. They're probably all crossed, but I have a brown ring around my pupil, and it really goes up into the pituitary and all of that up high. And I am trying to get that flushed out of my system, and that is kind of a gauge that I'm using. Not only that, but my cavities that I have, that I've had for a while, and I am trying to heal those. And I'm trying to remind myself that, yeah, this is more than just healing my cavities and getting the brown out of my eye. It's about regenerating my cells and connecting with Source, with the divine creator of all, and reclaiming my birthright, having clear thought and having a clear path, and making sure that I'm doing my part in order to not get in the way of being connected and having messages and guides, to instruct me. It's really not much different than when I proclaimed to be a Christian. I had faith, and I have faith, and I have trust. I'm open to things, and I'm learning more and more, because we've been lied to so much, but I'm staying strong, and I hope you guys are too. But the emotional part of this is important. It's important to have support. And so I'm going to end with just that, with relationships. When relationships aren't serving in some way that is positive, helping an individual to evolve and to become more and more of who they actually are, and to be happy and passionate and all of those things, then there's times when you need to give yourself space, and there's times when you need to walk away. I can't tell anyone what they can do, but that's, from my experience, what I have been learning. And it's hard, and it's not the time to make decisions in the middle of like high emotionally charged periods, like fruit fast and stuff like that. But I have been on high alert on how things are serving me and how I am responding to things or reacting to things. And some relationships trigger things, and so I'm just taking inventory of myself, but making sure that I put up good boundaries, I give myself space, and I also am just being aware of what is serving me and what's not, and possible doors that will open that will allow new supportive people in, and other people, maybe it's time for them to no longer be an integral part of my life. I don't know what's gonna happen. I just know that we need to respect ourselves and love others, and we're all in this together. This isn't about like trying to judge anyone else. It's just really about giving ourselves the time and the support that we need. And so I speak from my heart that I would love to have just a small group of people that I can call up and share things with, that have my back and genuinely care about what I'm going through. And so I'm asking just the Creator to give me that and to help me at this time, and then for me to be able to be that for others. I want to help people using my journey, my experience to do so. So, yeah, I'd much rather be with all of my offspring right now, holding them, enjoying time together, teaching them very important knowledge that has been neglected throughout time, and just to go back to our roots. But this is where I'm at, and so I am going to be sharing more on what others are doing to stand up against the corruption that is going on in the modern day form of human trafficking of our families. And I'm going to hopefully raise awareness in others and help us to come together more and more, because each state needs people and each country needs people, and we have to continue to do everything that we can to heal our families, to heal our world, because they are going after our fundamental rights as parents to parent our offspring, to take care of them, and it's on multi levels of how they're getting away with the fraud. So I haven't given up on any of that stuff. I don't just click my heels together and say no place like home. I know that there is work to be done in different areas, and so as I do this fruit fast and stay strong, I hope that you follow along with me. I love you all, and thanks for listening. Namaste.